Hello, class the receiving students and teachers.
Hello, Mrs. Batangas.
Thank you. You may be seated. Now we are still on the same strand, students and teachers, living things, substrand, nature of living things, still on the same learning outcome, and still on the same unit, structure, and functions of living things. Now, I'd like us to recap or reflect on our previous lesson, which was on scales. And we have a question here, receiving students in the class. Why do animals have scales? In the previous lesson, we looked at about 3 to 4 reasons why animals have scales. If I can have the class to give us, probably I can have 3 or 2. And receiving students, please, I'd like you to do the same. Why do animals have scales? Bagley? Why do animals have scales?
To protect them from the predators.
Very good, to protect them from the predators. Any more? Samuel?
To protect their soft body.
Very good, to protect their soft bodies. One more. Receiving students, please, I hope you are giving your answers to your teachers. One more. Angie? We have 2 boys, so let's have a girl. Policiela, help your friend. Thank you. Momoru would like to help. We have 2 friends, receiving students. I believe you have already given your reasons or answers to your teachers. Let's have a Momoru.
To keep their body moist.
Good, to keep their body moist as well as to reduce friction as they move around. Now I'd like us to have a look at these pictures. That's the first one. Think about it as I go through. The next. Who can tell me something about all those pictures we have there? Isaac?
Five senses.
5 senses. Good. More on that, 5 senses. Any more? The pictures we have there represent 5 senses. Something else besides the 5 senses? Michaeline?
Parts of our body.
Very good. Different parts of the body that help us with the 5 senses that we need. Now, just like us humans, we have those different parts of our bodies that help us with 5 senses. Animals too also have senses and parts of the body. I'd like us to have a look at the animal I have this morning. Now that's the animal I have. Okay, that's the animal I have. Students in the receiving schools, let your teacher know what that animal is. And it's students in the highlands. I believe you have these animals too, in the ponds and rivers. Let's have someone from the class to tell us. Receiving students, please tell your teacher what this animal is. Leyland?
Red fish.
Good, it's a fish. Now, this fish, just like us humans, also have senses. It also has different parts of the body that help the fish with the senses that it needs to live and survive. Now, we will be in our lesson looking at one part of the fish, which is called gills. Now our lesson for today is on gills, glorious gills. I want you to think about what gills are. What are gills? Now I'd like to show the class and the students in the receiving schools the gills of the fish I've just shown you. Let's see. Now I have my red fish again. Now, that's my red fish. Those students who live by the sea, you will have much bigger fish than the one that I have. This is what I was able to get from the market. Okay. If you look at this carefully, students in the receiving schools as well as the class, the part I'm lifting up covers the gills because the gills are soft and very delicate. That is why this cover here, which is called the gill cover, it covers the gills, and the gills are inside there. They are on both sides of the head of every fish. This one here. Thank you. Now you are to quickly discuss in your groups and let your teacher know what gills are. What are gills? I also want the class to discuss quickly and tell me what you think gills are. I believe receiving students, you have already told your teacher what gills are, and I hope the class has also come up with their answers. Let's have someone from the class. Maria, what are gills? What are gills? It's Maria. Anybody from Maria's group to help? Maria, you're supposed to be discussing in your groups. You should have discussed in your groups. And what you discuss about, your friend gives that response or reply, or the answer. So Maria, what you and your friends discuss about, you should be able to give me. I believe our friends in the receiving schools must have already given their answers to their teachers. Evelyn, help Maria, please.
The opening on the side of a fish.
The opening on the side of a fish. I've just shown you that little red fish and shown you where the gills are. So that's what gills are. We will learn more of gills as we go along. Now, what are gills? Gills are opening on the sides of a fish head through which water flows out. Quickly have that copied into your workbooks. While you are copying that into your workbooks, I'd like you also to think about why fish have gills. We're copying the think about why fish have gills. Why do fish have gills? Please, it says discussion. I'd like group discussion. Receiving students, please. I believe you are in your groups. I'd like you to discuss in your groups, receiving students. And we also have our friends in the class to also discuss why fish have gills. Thank you. Let's have Shannon.
Gills help fish to breathe in the water.
Very good. Gills help fish to breathe in the water. Now, just like us humans, we use our lungs to take in oxygen from the air. All living things, especially animals, also need oxygen. And fish, they also need oxygen too. And as humans, we use our lungs to take in oxygen from the air, while as the fish, they use gills to take in oxygen from the water, while they are in the water. Gills take in oxygen from the water that fish drink into the blood vessels and remove carbon dioxide out of the fish. Now, no need for you to copy that. That will come in the summary. Now, our activity for this lesson, you have in your books, receiving students, the Term 1 book that you were using. The last lesson in that book is lesson 28. So you should have your books to that page. And you have picture there of a fish. Now, you want to show where the gill is on the diagram of the fish in the book. Secondly, you indicate with arrows the flow of water in and out of a fish. How does water get into the fish? And how does it get out of the fish? You also show it in the diagram or picture you have in the book. Now, for the third question, teachers in the receiving schools, I'd like to have that question as homework because it will take time for our students to come up with answers to that question. So the class as well as the receiving students, that question 3 will be your homework. You find out other animals that breathe in the same way as fish. But question 4, you are going to have that one done in this lesson. That is to compare how fish breathe to that of human beings. You compare human beings and fish. How do fish breathe and how do humans breathe? You have your books there, so you should be getting your work done in your student worksheet handbook. You've just seen the picture, you've just seen that little red fish, and students in the receiving schools, you also know how fish look like. So for that second question, once again, you are to indicate with arrows the flow of water in and out of the fish. Which part of the body takes in water and which part removes that water or releases that water or lets the water get out of the fish. You discuss together as a group, and what you discuss about, have it done in your own worksheets. That activity shouldn't take you that long. Let's see what you have for the first one. I'd like someone from the class to come and show us. I have 2 pictures of heads of fish. I'd like someone to come and show us where the gill is on this fish. Someone to come and show us where the gill is. Show us where the gill is. Daisy, please. You can come and show us. Okay, thank you. So the gills are protected. The gills are in here. They are protected by the gill cover. So you will find the gills, let's see, Now, I also would like someone to come and show us how water flows into the fish and flows out. Teachers in the research school, if you're not able to have a big picture of fish, I'd like you to probably, after this lesson, have the students to draw a picture of fish and show you exactly how water gets in and out of the fish. Yes, Clement? And how does it go out? How does it go out? Very good, thank you. Fish take in water through their mouth and they let water flow out of their gills. Thank you, Clement. I hope students in the receiving school, you also have done that. Now, if you did not get correct arrows shown in the correct place, that is how you should have done it. Now, let's see our last question. Compare how fish breathe to that of human beings. Listening students, please you tell your teacher what answer you have, and I also want the class to tell us. Let's have someone from the class to tell us. Listening students, please do the same. Shannon, what did you and your friends come up with? Answer to that question. Shannon?
Human beings use their lungs to breathe and fish use gills to breathe.
Very good, thank you. Human beings use their lungs to breathe. What are we actually breathing? Oxygen. So humans use their lungs to breathe oxygen in the air, and fish use their gills to breathe oxygen in the water. Good, thank you. Now, how do fish breathe? I am going to go through, review or reflect on how fish actually breathe in water, and I'd like the class and the receiving students to take note as we go through quickly. How do fish breathe? We've already seen fish have gills which are very soft, delicate, so they have a hard cover, a gill cover that covers the gills. And that is where you find the gill cover on that fish. We also have on this fish here. Now, we had Clement, he's shown us that water goes in through the mouth. You have it on the screen, and goes out through the gills. Now, we also have gills. Gills are made up of gill arch and gill filaments. Now, I'd like to show that on the real fish we have. Receiving students and the class, if you can take, observe as I go through. We have our red fish, little red fish. Now, the sizes of gills depend on the size of fish. If fish is small, the gills are small. If the fish is big, gills are big. So as the fish grows bigger, the gills also grow big too. Here, I've taken the gill of this little red fish out. Now, this one here, this curved part of the gills, you see, is the gill arches. There are more than one, and you have them on both sides. Okay, so these are the gill arches. And these ones here, the feathery type, these ones here are the gill filaments. Now, part of the gill filaments, if you look closely, is sticking out of the gill arches, these ones here. Now, this is what happens. We have a closer look at the picture I have of gills. We have the gill filaments. Gill arches, I've just shown that using that real fish. This is what happens. Now, fish, while it's in the water, it drinks water in. As it drinks water in, there is oxygen in that water. So when the oxygen comes in, when the water comes in with the oxygen, the gills take in that oxygen. And this oxygen goes into the filaments, which are the blood vessels in the gills. Okay, and once it fills that blood vessels up, carbon dioxide, which is the waste, it's not wanted by the fish. Carbon dioxide is released or removed out of the fish through the gills. So that is how fish take in oxygen and remove or release carbon dioxide from the fish body. Now, a summary for this lesson. Fish breathe using their gills. That's the first one. Please get a copy quickly into your workbooks. Secondly, gills are made up of tiny sheets of tissues called filaments, which are full of blood vessels. To save time, you are sitting in groups, so somebody can help to copy the first point, somebody the second, and later on you can get it done instead of you one trying to get all the summary points done. That takes time. Now, the third summary point, gills of fish are the sites where oxygen is absorbed or taken in and carbon dioxide is removed. And our last summary point, a fish gills aren't able to take oxygen from the air like humans, so they can't breathe out of water, which means you see a lot of the times when you take fish out of the water, they don't live long because fish breathe in water. Once you take them out of the water, the gills are not able to take in that oxygen because it's out of the water, and that is where the gills collapse and the fish dies. While copying that, I'd like you to think of our key phrase for this lesson, receiving students and the class. Think of what the key phrase is for this lesson and get ready to tell your teacher and me. Madeline, if you can tell us what our key phrase for this lesson is.
Glorious gills.
Glorious gills, thank you. Receiving students, I hope you also had your own and you have told your teacher what the key phrase for this lesson is. Let's see what I have. Why have gills? Why have gills? Now, next lesson is on shoots. These are parts of a what? Plant. Parts of a plant. And materials for the next lesson, receiving students in the class, please take note. You are to come with a real uprooted plant. Okay? The paper, sticky tapes, and all that will be provided by your teacher. And with that, thank you, class, the receiving students and teachers, for your participation.